Sexual Abuse Damages New York. What Survivors Can Recover. Attorney Andrew M. Stengel. If you survive sexual abuse in New York, you deserve to know exactly what your case is worth. That question feels painful, but it is essential. New York law allows survivors to pursue significant civil damages, and the amount can be larger than you expect. A knowledgeable New York sexual abuse lawyer can help you identify every category of compensation available under state law. Courts in New York do not limit recovery to out of pocket expenses alone. Instead, they recognize the full human cost of what you endured, financially, psychologically, and across a lifetime. This post explains how New York courts calculate damages in sexual abuse civil lawsuits. Whether your case involves an institution, an employer, or an individual abuser, these principles apply. Understanding economic damages in New York sexual abuse cases. Economic damages are the documented financial losses your abuse caused. They include therapy costs, medical treatment, lost income, and future earning capacity. For example, a survivor who cannot return to work after the abuse may recover decades of projected lost wages. Additionally, the ongoing cost of psychiatric care, which can run tens of thousands of dollars, is fully compensable in New York. Documented evidence drives these awards. Specifically, your attorney must gather medical records, therapy notes, and employment files early in the case. Pay stubs, medical bills, employment records, and expert projections all become part of the record. However, economic damages are only the beginning of what you can recover. In many sexual abuse lawsuits, non economic harm drives the largest portion of the verdict. Building a strong economic foundation is still essential to the overall case. The role of expert testimony in sexual abuse damages cases. Expert witnesses play a critical role in New York sexual abuse lawsuits. Forensic economists calculate projected lost income with precision. Psychologists and psychiatrists testify about the depth and duration of your trauma. As a result, juries receive concrete, credible evidence, not just your account against the defendants. Vocational rehabilitation experts may assess how the abuse has limited your career options. Credible expert testimony can be the difference between a modest settlement and a substantial verdict. Furthermore, medical experts can establish the long term physical consequences of the abuse. New York courts routinely allow this testimony because damages in these cases require expert grounding. The opposing side will argue your losses are exaggerated. Therefore, your attorney must assemble qualified experts before trial. Preparation and planning on this front shape the outcome of damages litigation. Without expert support, insurance companies and institutional defendants will minimize your losses at every opportunity. Non economic damages and punitive awards in New York. Non economic damages compensate for harm that cannot be measured on a spreadsheet. Pain and suffering, emotional distress, loss of enjoyment of life, and psychological trauma all fall into this category. Juries in New York award these damages based on the totality of the survivor's experience. In particularly serious cases, courts may also award punitive damages. Punitive damages punish the defendant for egregious conduct and deter future abuse. Even so, jurors have broad discretion to award whatever amount fairly compensates the survivor's experience. An institution that ignored repeated complaints of abuse, for instance, may face significant punitive exposure. Additionally, laws like the Child Victims Act and the Adult Survivors Act opened courthouse doors to survivors whose cases were previously time barred. The Gender Motivated Violence Act similarly revived claims for gender based abuse in New York City. These laws recognize that institutional delays, shame, and fear often prevent survivors from coming forward right away. Because of this, survivors in New York benefit from one of the most survivor friendly legal frameworks in the country. Still, revival windows under these laws do not last forever. Survivors should not delay learning whether their case qualifies. How New York juries evaluate sexual abuse damages. Juries in New York approach sexual abuse damages with gravity and care. They consider the nature of the abuse, its duration, and the abuser's position of power. For instance, abuse by a doctor, clergy member, or teacher typically warrants higher damages because of the trust betrayal involved. Credibility during discovery and at trial directly shapes the final verdict. Beyond that, cases under the Child Victims Act and the Adult Survivors Act often involve institutional defendants, schools, churches, and hospitals, with significant resources. Your attorney must pursue not only the abuser, but every party that knew or should have known about the abuse. That means institutional liability in New York can multiply the total damages available. Institutional defendants carry deeper pockets and broader exposure than individual abusers alone. Most importantly, juries want to hear from you directly. Your testimony, grounded in your truth, carries enormous weight in a New York courtroom. All cases are handled on a contingency fee basis. You pay nothing unless we recover for you. Build your case with the law firm of Andrew M. Stengel. Survivors of sexual abuse in New York deserve an attorney who understands exactly what their case is worth. At the law firm of Andrew M. Stengel, PC, we help survivors build damage cases that reflect the true cost of abuse. We fight for economic damages, non economic damages, and punitive awards where the facts support them. Every case we take is pursued with the same intensity and commitment to maximum recovery. Of course, our firm serves clients throughout New York, not only New York City, but every part of the state. Contact us for a free, completely confidential consultation. Email info@stengellaw.com. For more information, please visit our website, stengellaw.com. Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.